The ancient city of Uruk had advanced technologies believed to be the cradle of human civilization. Uruk was the first great city mankind ever built. The foundations were laid as much as 7,000 years ago, and many of the innovations of this city survive to this day. How did the ancient Sumerians manage this feat, and what were the gifts Uruk left to mankind? Intriguing data relates to giants, and we have statues, for example, this one here, of, you can see the relation of the size of the lion to the giant human that was carrying it. And now just my comment here, I've also uploaded in the past concerning the heroes of the Trojan War. They were all giants. So something happened that changed their, perhaps it was the Great Flood that changed their longevity and their size. So Uruk continues to contain several human mysteries, intriguing data relating to giants, weird beasts, mysterious flying ships were depicted in the cuneiform tablets found at Nineveh, and we know also that we are familiar with the Temple of Seti in Abydos, Egypt, where they have the hieroglyphs of various crafts that we have today: airplanes, jets, submarines, hovercrafts, airplanes, helicopters. So Uruk continues to contain several human mysteries, astonishing conventional archaeology every time a new excavation is conducted, with stories hidden from humans for several years. Once a city that highly developed south of the river valley on the banks of the Euphrates River, with a civilization spanning over Mesopotamia to be the world's first and most important city, also the cradle of legendary rulers like Gilgamesh, a god far from what we identify as human, much more similar to a mythical creature. But first, let's discuss the origins of the most mysterious city. Uruk's origins and discovery. Initially founded in 1849 by William Loftus, though the most famous archaeologist at that time failed to reach the site until the next century. Between 1912 and 1913, Julius Jordan, together with the East German Society, found the Ishtar Temple and was completely surprised because of its adobe mosaics and bricks. But the most stunning thing to Jordan was the remnants of the prehistoric wall extending throughout the whole city for more than 3 millennia BC. Later, researchers indicated that the wall was up to 15 meters in height, 9 kilometers in length, and was constructed by King Gilgamesh. Some tablets written in Sumerian language dating back to around 3300 BC that illustrates Uruk was the first city that used writing as a typical means of daily communication were discovered by Henrik Lentzen in the 1950s. Quite contrary to the common beliefs at the time, all of the findings illustrated that Uruk had become not only the first urban human settlement, but also the nucleus of society with a thriving economic power superior to all other civilizations. Additionally, it stood out in the succession of temples crowned in ziggurats and palaces, at least 80,000 inhabitants, making it the initial city on Earth. Why did it stand out so much above the others? Uruk has experienced several stages throughout the history. Initially founded as a Neolithic settlement around 5000 BC, it had been a powerful metropolis, significantly advanced and considerably influential between 4000 and 3000 BC, until it collapsed after 700 AD. Even though its impact was so powerful that the name has been influential for a period of time. This made Uruk the most influential metropolis of human societies. However, scientists have not yet figured out how the city managed to become the epicenter of society and have such great dominance. The economic power has been widely known, together with the perfect location in the valley of the two rivers, Euphrates and Tigris, allowing an enormous yield of food to be harvested. This might have drawn more and more inhabitants to join the urban planning, trading with adjacent regions, as they don't need to fight for their livings anymore. The residents are granted chances to devote to other tasks and activities. Meanwhile, theorists also attributed this to the divine influence of Gilgamesh, which did not belong to this world of mortals. The incredible and inexplicable stories of the gods. The origin of this advanced city was En-Merkar, a being that has been in the eye of the storm for a long time for several reasons. Zechariah Sitchin, one of the greatest scholars of antiquity, even mentions the dispute between En-Merkar and the Lord of Aratta. The modern metropolis originated from En-Merkar, a being in the eye of the storm for a while for several reasons. Zechariah Sitchin, one of the most exceptional scholars of antiquity, did refer to the dispute between En-Merkar and the Lord of Aratta, a dispute that ended with a great storm, triggering a terrible drought throughout Aratta, which En-Merkar opted to take advantage of to conquer the land for his kingdom. According to recorded documents, the Lord of Aratta stated, "Inanna, the queen of the lands, has not abandoned her home in Aratta. Do not hand Aratta over to Erech." Inanna was a goddess who traveled in her spaceship, quote unquote, and can be observed in representations as if she were piloting some kind of a ship. Gilgamesh, humanity's first epic. Gilgamesh was a major hero in ancient Mesopotamian mythology and the protagonist of the Epic of Gilgamesh, and you could find that in my playlist of videos. I do have that Epic of Gilgamesh for you. So he was the protagonist of the Epic of Gilgamesh, an epic poem written in Akkadian during the late 2nd millennium BC, that's 4,000 years ago. He was the historical king of the Sumerian city-state of Uruk. Intriguing data relating to giants, weird beasts, and mysterious flying ships, flying craft, were depicted on the cuneiform tablets found at Nineveh. Among those, the most stunning story is from Gilgamesh, often believed to be humans' first epic, even predating the Old Testament, which clearly imitated its story of creation and changed the names of Gilgamesh to Noah. Gilgamesh was a being who governed Uruk tyrannically 5,000 years ago, depicted through historical documents as if he truly existed, with a mysterious origin. However, the full story failed to survive over time, but a history of struggle, life, and death can be interpreted in the rest of the tablets. Gilgamesh was regarded as the man, entity, or being for whom all things were known, unlimited knowledge that is, by the Sumerians, who said it was a hybrid between gods who came from heaven and humans. So he was a hybrid between star people and humans. In addition, they mentioned that it had no defects. When the gods created it, 2/3 of God and 1/3 of humans did, creating a perfect being. As we have seen, many passages from our history told by archaeology and Orthodox traditional history hide many details about our origins. Uruk is a clear example of this, along his stories about gods that make us wonder if there really was no influence beyond what we know. And this is on Collective Spark by Larry Guest Writer. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box